in the hands of the bow, a dream come true. That is some moment. Aguero!
Hello and welcome to Sport from the Bleachers. Results and opinions for the fans, by the fans. JB, Youngen, I haven't got the best intro this week because Para won, Carlton is still shit, Dragons are cheats. This content's only good when Para shit.
Go on.
Boys, welcome.
How are you, mate?
How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Look, how's the week been? Been all right? I know the chat's been going off all week. It's been a pretty busy week around sport in general, but how are we going? All right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Can't complain. Probably freezing down here in Melbourne, but...
Mate, it's not much warmer up here. I know it looks like Youngen's sunning himself. It's dead certain. He must be. He's got the heater on, that's for sure.
Yeah,
it's freezing.
It's something's going on in this room. It's fucking sweating bullets, mate. Nail and piss.
That's why. All right, now for all the viewers and listeners out there, I'm not sure we really touched on it last week, but we are going to do two pieces of content this week around. We are going to review the Origin the day after, the three of us. So we're going to give a special review show. So we're not going to touch on much of Origin tonight. We'll only give it a couple of minutes and just talk about the quick big things. We will give you our, obviously, the result and opinions for the fans, by the fans. That's what we are. So we'll do a Thursday wrap-up show. So, boys, Latrell.
Yeah.
How big?
Yeah.
Well, I'll rephrase that. I know it's big. Does it affect the result?
Oh, look, I don't think so. Well, it might. It depends on what happens early.
It's just it's just a bit different. Obviously, with Critter coming in, he's a different player. But Latrell's a big loss, but then Critter's a good gain. Yeah,
I suppose if Critter plays to his potential that we know he can do, then it's not a big loss, but it is a big stage for him. And if he gets the nerves up, then it could be. So,
just to sort of back Critter up, and then I'll give you my opinion. To back Critter up, he's done it in 3 grand finals. He scored in 3 grand finals, so
yeah, exactly.
he can do it. What I want to say is I think they're two completely different athletes.
Yeah,
as in the fact that Critter's a proper athlete, whereas Latrell's just a machine and can change a game in a different way than what Critter can. Like Latrell could play front row tomorrow, I feel.
Yeah.
So he's barreling over 3 or 4 blokes to score a try, where Critter's probably getting in the clear to score. I think that's the big difference for me, anyway.
Yeah,
so Latrell can change the game from 20 out and probably score a hat trick from 20 out. Whereas Critter's probably not doing that running through blokes. That's all.
I suppose Critter plays when the team's up and about and he's got that the ball's flinging around. That's where he can play. Whereas Latrell can change a game, change momentum. So if New South Wales are up and about, then I think Critter will do all right.
Just quickly, I know we're going to review the show. We did all say New South Wales wins. Hasn't changed?
Not for me.
No.
Not for me.
I'm with you. I think New South Wales win and win. I'm still confident.
We're not buying to this Nathan Cleary freaking sore toothache. Might not play.
No.
He's going to play.
Seriously.
He'll be playing. He'll be playing.
He'll play, but if he has,
I don't even know how that makes freaking news.
Yeah,
he has. I know the issue was his face blew up, like it was bad, and he has had the issue before.
Really?
Yeah. So his face blew up before they flew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And hey, the Queenslanders have got a bug, no doubt. They'll be vomiting the day before the game.
At
some point.
There's always something going on.
Just because we do a bit of media, now all of a sudden New South Wales are trying to blow smoke.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the results of last week. The Dragons, Scott, need to sack their coach again to play well. They even scored on a 7-tackle set, still didn't win the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we're clearly no
Bring
good.
back. I'm on the bring back Griffin bus. Fair dinkum. Bring back Griffin.
Mate, we're just. I don't know what to say anymore, mate. No Ben Hunt, obviously, but
Yeah, but
it's not.
I want
It's
to
not.
argue. I
No,
want to
it's
argue
not.
with you for a second.
I'm
I
not-
want to argue with you for a second. They don't. They all want Ben Hunt at hooker, and you want this other fucker at halfback,
Mm.
and they still don't beat the Dolphins. Like,
Yeah. No,
you either want Ben Hunt or you don't want Ben Hunt. What do you want?
no. I'm just saying that I'm looking for reasons for them, mate. You know, they're just they're in a shambles. Just write the year off. They'll probably get the wooden spoon. So that's where I'm at with it.
Well, don't talk about wooden spoons too much because you've just put a full stop on that game. So fuck you. I wanted to go further at it. But the Cowboys aren't much better. I know they were missing Val and whatever else, but they had an opportunity to beat Para, and Jay being a Para fan, they had an opportunity to beat Para. They had him on the ropes.
Yeah, they did. It was.
It was very funny for a lot of the game
It
for me.
was.
It was very funny.
I think at part way through the game, I was on the phone with my old man, and I'm like, it's so frustrating following this fucking team. Because look, the games we should be pumping them. It's just, I don't know. And then we come and we can beat Penrith all the time, and it's just, I don't know. But
Now, can I ask you both? Is Brad Arthur or the media listening to sport from the bleachers, or both?
I think of that all should
think-
be. I think.
I think it'd be
Or-
Well,
both.
we
mate.
are viral, as you know. We're international, but we called for Hodjo. We didn't call for Hodjo to be sacked, right? Let's just put it that way. We called for Hanji to have more minutes.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't watch most of the game. But he did come on at 6-all. Brendan, yes.
Yep.
Turn the game, yes or no?
100% did.
Yep.
And from the forums that I'm reading and the conversations around what he's doing, I guess the fans are loving what he's doing. Should it be this week? I've been busy today, but does he get named at starting hooker from now on, do you think?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it, but I don't think they will. I've got the feeling they're just he's still trying to use Hodjo to take the sting out of the game at the start, and then bring Brendan in. I think that's where his head's at, just from an outsider looking in. I don't know that, but that's the way it looks to me. And I think ideally he is trying to get Brendan to become an 80-minute player. He's, you've got the bye this week. They've put Brendan into the State Cup side to keep his legs ticking over.
Is he playing Cup, is he?
Yes, he is. Yeah. Yeah, him and I don't know who else. I'm assuming there'll be a few others, but it's solely to keep Brendan fit and obviously get him up to play more minutes in first grade. So,
yeah. And JB, you're a Para fan, and I know, I'll ask you separately. We know how Youngen stands on it, and we'll back Hansy to the hilt because we know what he can do. But as a Para fan, and take off your Hansy hat, are you in agreement a bit there?
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. I do think that they'll still wean him into that position over the next month, I suppose. But he does make the biggest change in the team at the moment from an interchange point of view. And it happens.
So are you happy as a Para fan for him to come off the bench then? At the right time? I'll revert to that. At the right time, not at 60 minutes?
No, not at 60 minutes. I think it was 31 minutes into the game he come on. I'd like to get him on a bit earlier, but it just does give you that. I suppose if we're still in the game at that 30-minute mark, with him off the ground, it is a positive feeling to know, all right, well, we've still got Hansy to come on if the guys
can affect it.
Yeah, to get a bit lethargic in the legs and stuff.
Do you think that was Brad's decision, seeing that it was 6-all and it was a bit of a grind?
Oh, look, I did hear something. I was watching the Fox coverage, and I heard someone say that Hodger might have had an injury or something and gone off, but then they never went back down to affirm that or not. So, look, I think that's probably right. I think that if there was a 6-all and it did see for a bit that it was going to be a deadlock for a while, and maybe that's a perfect time to bring him on, So I like it at the moment, but I do prefer him to be starting, I suppose, just to get that jump because we do start slow. So
Slowly, yeah. That's like
Yep.
I think the questions that are getting raised around it is to probably give Hansy the start, let him see how they start, and take him off at 30 minutes, and give Hodjo the 10 before halftime, 10 after halftime, and let him run himself silly, and then get Hansy back on. But anyway, look, we'll back Brendan to the hilt, and this podcast is getting known. So, Hansy, you could be captain of Parramatta if you keep this up, mate. So keep on trucking. I think I want to give the Broncos this week, before we touch on the last couple of games. I think the Broncos had a pretty hard-fought win over the Warriors with, the team they had out there. It was Adam Reynolds is a superstar, boys. I don't think he gets enough raps. Without Reece Walsh, without Pat Carrigan, without Tom Flegler, Selwyn Cobbo, those type of players, he basically put them on his back and said, let's go, and beat a decent Warriors team in New Zealand.
Yeah, massive result.
Yeah, he's done that for a long time now, Adam Reynolds, and you're right. He hasn't been given all the praise he deserves for a long time. Just that Mr. Consistent, especially going up to the club like the Broncos after the Rabbits, and they have big kind of weight on his shoulders there, but he's delivered as well. So
that his first game back from injury.
Being knocked out. He
knocked
tried to
out?
headbutt the ground. Yeah, he tried to eat the grass.
Yeah, right.
The other week.
Okay.
Yeah, shouldn't be eating grass. He's too good of a footballer to be eating grass. But again, I think it just makes it bigger by winning in New Zealand as well. Like, that's a tough place, freezing cold, wet.
Mate, did you see how amount of streakers on that freaking ground? There was about
not one nude one. Like, take your clothes off if you're going to do it. Fair income, do it properly.
There was like 5 back to back. Oh shit!
And
crazy over there,
boys. On behalf of the Bleachers, or Sport from the Bleachers, we do want to wish Corey Harawira all the best. I've heard he's in good spirits at the moment, but and he's getting all the tests and whatever else he needs to find out what the issue was. But pretty scary moment for a really fit, high-profile athlete not to get hit in the head and just fall over on a football pitch, rugby league pitch, and see the scenes. It was pretty horrific, but he's doing well. So, Corey, all the best. But plaudits to both teams for getting around him and making sure that no one could see what was going on.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see.
And a pretty big win by the Raiders in the end then, because, that was pretty sort of horrific around what was happening, and to get up against a pretty decent Rabbitohs side. Still had Cody and all that. So good on the Raiders. Now, boys, I want to ask you before we touch on the Newcastle game. Ricky's come out and said he's resting Jared Croker for the next game so he can play 300 at home in front of his fans. Now, before I get your opinion, I want to put a bit of context in it. I'm the first to throw Ricky under the bus. He has come out in a bit of context since and said the medical staff were looking at resting Jared Croker in the next couple of weeks because he's so fragile. And they had earmarked either the New Zealand game or the Tigers game as it to help him get there. What are your thoughts?
Well, firstly, like, if that's the truth, then yeah, it's a good play. Like, fair enough, and it's probably the right time to do it. But if you take that off the table, and it was just a Canberra fans' point of view, it's pretty dicey doing it when you're sitting 7th, and you're really in that middle of the pack. Like, he isn't just a interchange player. Like, he can make or break a game. So
I want to tell you this. I want to reiterate this, Scott. You and I have been pretty big on this around the Dragons, right? Jared Croker kicks goals and very rarely misses.
Yeah.
If the Raiders lose by 4 points and it's 2 conversions, he looks
Yeah.
like a fucking complete twat,
Yeah.
Ricky. Yes?
Yeah. Yep. Agreed, mate. That's should be playing him, man.
Cooper Cronk put it pretty good on Saturday night and said it's the dumbest thing he's seen,
Yeah.
basically.
But it's not like, they're Penrith and they're 3 games in front of the table, or they're like
Correct.
the fucking Dragons and it's like, yeah, look, we're not going to get through the season. But they are right at the point, as I said, they're 7th at the moment.
You
Like,
can't
that
drop a
is-
game, mate. You can't drop a
No.
game.
Yeah, but you're paid to play. He's paid a shit ton of money to play. If you're fit to
Yeah.
play, go win a game fit with your team. I'm sorry.
But my thing is, right, play 300, celebrate it the following weekend. Like, you get 2 celebrations, really.
Yeah, it's not like you're not allowed to. It's
You
301. Like, they do it all the time.
Mate, he was in reserve grade for the start of the year. He may not have got to 300.
It doesn't.
But look, let's put it into. We'll put it into context, right? And we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, in saying that he was going to be rested, and it was either the Warriors game or this game. But wow, it's a massive call if they lose by 4 points and it's 2 conversions. That are the issue.
I hope they do.
For me. Boys, I want to ask your opinion around Ponga and Gagai. For me, probably should have beaten the Seagulls better than they did. I was on the Knights and it got pretty tight there. Ponga copped a whack to the head, stayed up, got back up. Ponga and Gagai, do you think they are hard done by? I don't, for some reason.
I think it's fair enough for Ponga, just due to the head knocks, because you can't, like, how physical Origin is.
Oh, anyone can be off tomorrow.
Yeah, and he'd be off in the first freaking hit up of the game. I don't know. I would have gone with Gagai, to be honest, just from his form. Like, he hasn't had a bad Origin series. If I was to put my Queensland hat on, but he hasn't had a bad Origin series. So if you took him into this one and he had a stinker, then that's it. He's done. Like, he's at that age and all that. But
because now you can't bring him back for me. You can't bring him back for game 2, Gagai. He's done. If Hammer or Val get touched up by Critter or Turbo, you can't bring Gagai back now. It's done for me. You got to stick with the 2 centers for the series.
Yeah. The thing is that Hammer could really be an issue, a liability for him, but he could still turn the game as well. But
yeah.
I
definitely think Ponga, no chance. It'd be like if you're still playing footy in 3 years' time.
Yeah,
honest to God.
I want to give Dom Young a rap. That he scored a couple of good meat pies this year, and that runaway try where he's just run around the whole team. It's like under sixes. It's like under sixes footy. So I go back to the point that Newcastle aren't winning well, but they seem to be hanging in there, winning games. So obviously there's something up there. There's a bit of bite down on the mouthguard attitude and having a go. I think the Knights, if they can keep a team on the park, may sneak into the 8 if they can keep it up.
Oh, big call.
Yeah. Hey, they do look like a different side with Ponga in the side, and now Ponga hasn't had an outstanding side this season, but just with him in makes a big difference.
But at fullback, not at 5'8".
Yeah.
I got to keep him at fullback. Yeah,
you got to keep him at fullback, I reckon. Yeah. All right, boys. Now we will touch on a bit of the NRL on Thursday night, just around how we think players are going to back up. It's pretty tough to give our opinions on sort of what games are going to be good this week, because Penrith could rest everyone. Roosters could rest whoever they've got. Broncos, Dolphins, Titans, everyone could rest. So we might save our opinions for Thursday night and give a quick wrap up or our opinions of the round coming up on Thursday night. But we will give our Origin opinions tomorrow night. But Youngen, do you have a multi? Is it your multi this week? And have you got an Origin multi?
I have got an Origin multi.
I know we're going early with the multi, but just so we can get it tick it off now, please.
Yeah, I've just gone a 3-legger, same game multi for tomorrow night. 3 anytime try scorers, because I'm confident with New South Wales winning, but you never know with Origin. I've got Hammer as anytime try scorer, James Tedesco, and Stephen Crichton. And just what you touched on before about Critter in grand finals and that scoring tries. I reckon he's good for a try. That's mate, that's paying $30. Get on it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah.
And by the way, touching on multis, if Sean Johnson catches the ball and falls over the line instead of passing, we're up 8K. Just have that in the back of your mind, please.
Yeah.
Viewers, listeners, yes, our social media person is going to pick this up and put it on social media, but fair income, Sean, get the ball and dive over the line, mate.
I know we could have all been doing this from Sizzler tonight. Had a
Mate, Mitch Moses scores after the bell. Sean Johnson should have fallen over the line. Then Cookie scores. Oh, stop it! We're on.
Yeah.
So apologies to the viewers who are eating noodles this week and waiting for your pay. I apologise. Now, boys, I've spoken about it for the last 3 weeks. I've put Para and Carlton in the same. It's a repeat. I put Carlton and Para in the same box. Para have come out the other end. Carlton are running with 2 left shoes at the moment. They cannot find their right foot. Fair income. JB, I know we're in Sydney and Youngen, you can feel the drums beating around Vossi and Carlton. We're hearing it up here. Patrick Cripps is copping it for staying in a hotel that he stayed at the night after. JB, Carlton are a massive club. Can you give our listeners and viewers a bit of insight into how the Melbourne media are treating them at the moment?
Yeah, look, they're getting absolutely smashed, to be honest. And there's reports coming out that the football club director and the president had a fairly loud blue in the change rooms after, and since then the
board member has resigned.
Director has resigned. And yeah, so they're giving it to Cripps as well, but Cripps has come out saying don't challenge his dedication to the club, blah blah blah.
Well, that has been proven, by the way. So Cripps, it has been proven he did stay with the team. He stayed an extra night with his family. He stayed an extra night and was able to stay an extra night by the club.
Yeah, and because they got a week off this week, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, that's come out all above board. But yeah, look, the pressure's still on, like with the coaching staff and all that, and but they are kind of, I suppose, sticking with they kick 6 goals, 15.
Fuck.
I
want to talk about that.
They're going to say, at the moment, they're saying, look, it's not unfixable. We're just not kicking straight. Like, stick with us.
Bullshit.
That's what they're saying at the moment. Yeah, that's
a load of shit. Not being rude. That's a load of shit.
I don't agree with it either. I mean, it is an issue.
Mate, Sydney didn't have 3 of the best backmen in the game. They'd Nick the Lizard back there taking marks and slithering his way through their forward line and kicking it forward.
Yeah.
Bullshit. They kicked 6-15.
Yeah, and as I said, they're gripping onto whatever they can at the moment, but they're getting smashed, and they're not delivering. So they need to really stand up soon, or I don't know. They've got to make a change. Whether or not they're going to try and make a change from board level first.
Let's have a quick chat about it. Mid-season draft happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity there to do whatever there's need, and we'll talk about the mid-season draft next week and how it works and who's gone where and the big stuff. Do they need someone who can kick goals? Like Charlie Curnow and Mackay, fair income. Mate, they should be both.
To be honest, I mean, Mackay won the Coleman medal last year, and I think Curnow
how
won
can
the
he
year
kick
before.
now? It's like Zach Lomax. We had the conversation about it. You get paid to fucking kick.
It's like Space Jam. He's touched some fucking ball and he's lost all of his ability to kick a fucking goal.
I literally watched that yesterday. Dead set. Kids are obsessed with it.
But they just don't. He's kicked 0-3. He's kicked I think someone said they've kicked 20 goals, 44 in the last 3 games or something like that. So Yeah,
But
you're right.
look, for
They
me,
get paid to do it.
yes,
They need to be
I
doing
was
it.
just about to say they
And
get
look,
paid to do it, JB.
them two need to bloody kick up the arse like the Brisbane boys got copped at the start of the year. So they need to be better.
But they get paid, right? Why isn't there a goal kicking coach reaming them each week? Like,
There probably is, but he
so
probably
I'll ask you
he's
this, right? Let me ask you, Young, and I'll ask you both this. You have a technique, right? If his technique's working in training and then it's not working in the game, right? It's between the ears, yeah?
Yeah.
So either tweak his technique. So if his technique's working and he's doing the same technique in the game, it's working in training, he's doing the same in the game, it's between the ears. If he's changing his practice routine to then changing something different in the game, that's another issue altogether.
Yeah.
Do you know his issue?
Get around the bloke, for fuck's sake.
Mackay's issue is that whole they started to snap goals from straight in front, right? And that was work for him last year. And now he can't kick it. The media saying, just go back and kick it fucking like a normal AFL footballer. Now he doesn't know if he's Arthur or Martha.
Yeah.
So is he starting to read his own script?
I think he's reading too much into it. Instead of blocking out the noise and just going, I need to work out what works for me and what doesn't, Don't worry about anyone else thinks.
Yeah, well, look at us. We can pile on anything. So look out, Carlton, feed income. Exactly. We'll put you in the para mode. Again, content's not good if para good. Content's not good if Carlton go good. Very good. No, I am joking. Look, we're not piling on any player. We're not piling on any player personally. We're just attempting to, I guess, break it down on why. There's always a why. It's not the player's shit, right? He can kick goals. He just said he got the Coleman. Put something around him to help him get there. And if that's a club or a team perspective for me.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
But anyway, what's doing with the results? Is Carlton rubbing off on every other team at the moment? Like, seriously, that's a load of shit. The Saturday results is a load of shit.
I think after Saturday night, I was zero. I had zero.
Really?
After Saturday night.
Well,
yeah.
We know the Oracle thinks he's the greatest tipper in Australia, right? He somehow tipped Sydney. There's no way you could tip Sydney to beat any good tips. The new Carlton should have won that game. I'm telling you.
You blokes don't know how to tip, clearly.
Mate, you fucking tipped West Coast last week to beat Hawthorn, and then Hawthorn have gone and beat St Kilda.
Yeah, mate. Maybe I'm having an effect on them. I don't know.
But then, look, I'll run through it. The Dockers were no hope 6 weeks ago of winning a game. They were in the West Coast Hawthorn North mould. They weren't winning anything. They've just gone and beat what we said flag favourites a couple of weeks ago, the Melbourne. GWS have run the legs off Geelong at Geelong. They couldn't beat you and I in the backyard.
No.
Gold Coast Suns were playing on the beach 2 weeks ago and have gone and beat the Dogs, who we also said were going well. And Adelaide have beaten Brisbane, who I've said have won the flag.
Maybe we just don't have a clue what we're talking about.
Mate, maybe we stop tipping. We're all going to kittens together. We just get a booth. We just stop it. But seriously, like I know. Look, we're having a bit of fun, but has Ross the boss lost his little bit of magic dust around St Kilda, or are they waiting to get some names back?
Oh, look, they are waiting to get a couple of names back, but yeah, I think that the style of play that he brought to the league at the start of the year is kind of being, found out now by other teams.
It's not sustainable all year.
Nah. So yeah, they need to change it up a bit, I think, but surprising.
Now, is it coincidental that Brayshaw's fit for Fremantle that they're playing better?
Look, he's a tried, nearly superstar, really. Like he does make a massive difference, has for a long time.
And Jager O'Meara getting some form as well.
Yeah. Like he's starting to play that back into that form that he did, early days at Gold Coast and a bit when he was at Hawks. But yeah, them two up and about does make a big difference. And
it's a pretty big win over the Demons, to be fair.
Oh,
in Melbourne.
definitely in Melbourne as
Melbourne.
well. Like
Yeah,
that was the thing. It wasn't just Sunday bucking down in freaking Freo.
yeah, in Freo, blowing a gale.
Yeah. So no, they've done well. They've surprised everyone, and Melbourne didn't really have anyone out, so they can't complain there.
All right, what I want to ask you both, Young, and we live in Sydney, obviously. The Giants get no media. The Giants get nothing. If Sydney aren't going well, AFL's not spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
Is Toby Green one of the best players in the AFL at the moment?
Yeah.
And because he's at GWS, he's not spoken about. Just he
Well,
put him on his back. He put him on. He put them on his back again to get them over. Am I wrong or right?
No, you're right. But we have spoken about this before. Like,
Yeah, we have.
He would be I reckon he could demand a lot more money because the media do drive some contracts.
Yeah.
But he
So
could
he goes
demand
to
a lot more
Collingwood
money.
tomorrow. He'd be one of
Yeah.
the highest paid players at Collingwood, yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Or
Yeah.
Carlton, say. Let's just say Carlton. If he goes to Carlton tomorrow, he's getting over $1 million, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. If Toby had to come to Collingwood, which he did have the opportunity to about 3-4 years ago, yeah, he'd be
He'd be the
'cause
Dusty type.
well, at the time, DeGoey was getting pushed out. He was asking for a lot more, and then we were like, "Oh, all right, mate, we'll get rid of him. We'll get Toby in." But yeah, he could demand upwards that $1 million. Yeah, definitely for the last few years.
But again, Scotty's not spoken about, is
No,
he?
no.
You wouldn't hear it, but you wouldn't know
No.
about him at all.
Do you hear about Buddy up there a lot?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah, okay.
He's not spoken about unless he's crashing cars. That's the only time he's spoken about, mate.
Yeah, no, not much AFL up here. There's
Yeah.
no, not good.
Dacos again. We keep talking about him, but he's cementing his spot as probably the best player in the game at the moment. Solidifying his position as number one player in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
I know it's against North and whatever, but he's still there.
It's just consistency. Like he doesn't, yes, he had the right to kind of take his foot off the pedal for the North game, especially because it was a game where it was under control most of the way, right? It wasn't like close at any point, but no, he just still keeps bloody doing his thing, and yeah, they can't stop him. So I reckon, he'd go. It's his Brownlow to lose. To be honest, it'd be, I reckon, an injury.
Him to be suspended to lose.
Suspended or injury, yeah,
to lose. Now, talk me through Matty Nix and the Adelaide Crows. I know they've beaten Brisbane in Adelaide, but I guess it's the way they went about it. JB is they played pretty tough again.
Yeah, they are just become that team that just slugs it out and it doesn't want to let any games get too far away from each other. And
the Texans dominating at times. He's not playing a lot of minutes, but when he gets his hands on the footy,
nah, it's just that experience, isn't it? Like just showing that you don't have to be as that
touch it 30 times.
Nah, you just know you got to know where to go, and just that old head on him, and good on him, I reckon.
All right, now next week it's the mid-season draft, which we'll talk about next week. We go into sort of are we calling it a split round? What are we calling it, JB? Just the bye, the bye weeks.
It's a mid-season bye. It's a mid-season bye round, really. Yeah.
Carlton play Melbourne. Could it be 0-0? Sorry,
mate,
or no
knows?
goals kicked, just behinds.
It could be. Who knows what's going to happen in that game? You never know. Carlton might kick straight and beat them by 10 goals. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what it's probably there's not much else around with the bye weeks. We'll probably give an in-depth analysis next week of the mid-season draft on next week's episode and give everyone a rundown on how it works and what's happened and where people are going.
West Coast, just side note, West Coast are paying $12.50 to beat Collingwood. Just
in a 2-horse race. Should be 1,250. There's no way they're winning.
Yeah, not a chance.
Mate, Dacos could take a picnic blanket and not get a bit of mud on him. Mate, there's no way. $12.50. There you go, viewers. Dump everything on that. Wow.
That's
Gamble responsibly.
needs to be
That's
a lot.
horrible.
That
$12.50
needs to be a lot
to 2
more
balls.
than that. Needs to be a lot more than that.
All right, well, there we wrap up. Now, JB's joke of the week is absolutely killing it. It's going. He's gone viral. People are just stopping him in the street in Whittlesea, one of the biggest towns in Victoria, asking him about what JB's joke of the week, fair income. So, what we've decided to do is get everyone on board. No, we're not telling jokes, but myself and Youngen felt a bit left out. So JB's offered us out our own segment. So good on him. Saying didn't want to be viral on his own. So we're about to talk some football. So this week, Youngen.
Yep.
First up, Youngen's Young Gun.
Yep.
Is going to be a consistent weekly segment. So you can go viral and we can go viral separately if needed. So talk to the viewers around Youngen's Young Gun.
Okay. Youngen's Young Gun. It's basically a young player or athlete or any sort that I would like you to keep your eye on for this week. So this week's Young Gun is a player that Matthew loves dearly. Alejandro Garnacho is an 18-year-old that plays for my team, Manchester United. Now he's just signed a massive extension with the club until 2028, and he's in this week's cup final against Manchester City. I think he's going to come on and make an impact. I think he's going to be a fantastic player in the years to come, and I can see Matthew shaking his head. To give you an idea, Justin, this Garnacho has, I believe, the mentality of a young Ronaldo. He does, mate.
Yeah, right. Okay.
He does. He's got the cockiness.
Where's he
about
from?
him. He's Argentinian.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
Argentinian.
Yeah.
So he's but he's 18 years old. He's 18 years old playing with the big boys, and he's a good player. Matthew, your arms are crossed, so you're all right.
Well, this is going to bring the viewers back. Youngen's Young. This is going to bring the viewers back. Fucking hell,
mate. He's going to come on. He's going to make a difference.
No, I am taking the piss. I don't like. I don't disagree with you there. He is a gun. He is a gun. I tend to disagree. I'm not sure he's going to get the opportunity to make as much impact. I'm not sure Ten Hag has that in him for a cup final. That's if you're 4-0 down at half time and Haaland scored 3 and Grealish has scored 1 at half time.
It's going to be...
How are you going to come back?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think he'll have to put Garnacho on to make the difference, I think.
So touch in on... So let's continue that.
Yep.
FA Cup final.
Yep.
Big stage
at Wembley.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Big thing for Man United. I've got stuck into them all year and I'll continue to get stuck into them forever. But in saying that, they've made the cup final, so it is what it is, and it's a Manchester derby for a cup final. So
massive effort for Manchester United to get there, with obviously the Eric Ten Hag only taking over this season. To get, obviously they won the Carabao Cup final, which is mate, more trophies than Liverpool got this year. We have. Yeah, mate, it's the FA Cup final. It's in his first year as a coach. So, and we finished third in the Premier League. So, mate, to make the FA Cup final is a really good achievement for where they were to where ETH took over. So yes, Wembley, big game. Manchester United win. To put it into context, Manchester City are going for the treble this year. No one wants that to happen. So I think United can stop.
Man City are.
They are. So if they win this, they'll go on to win the Champions League.
Yeah. Look, it's a City. The only thing keeping you in it, I reckon, is being a Manchester derby.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's the only thing Ten Hag's got to get his players up for me is a Manchester derby.
And it's a cup final. I mean,
and a cup final. If they're not up, they're not up. They're never getting up.
No.
To be honest,
They
like
beat-
if they're not up, they're
it's
never
like
getting up.
they beat Barcelona. They got up for Barcelona and they beat them.
Yeah,
It can happen. Yeah, so.
I think Haaland scores a hattie. Sorry.
Oh, you're kidding. No way. Harry Maguire's not playing, mate. It's not going to happen.
Well, Harry Maguire's not playing. You could win 4-0 if Harry's not playing. Boys, JB, I want to touch on something. We've been in constant contact the last few weeks about Luton Town's ground, Kenilworth Road, and I sent you that video. Now, I want to paint the picture, viewers, around. It's hard to paint the picture to people who don't understand, but JB is the perfect person to paint this picture. I sent you the video of the away end at Kenilworth Road. Do you want to give viewers? So this is Premier League, Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City with 80-odd thousand people going to a 10,000 seat stadium going through where?
They're going through like just a suburban street, going through people's front yards, really. And then you look up the road, and then there's just a set of stairs, has a sign, and they rock in, and you walk up the stairs, and you look into people's kitchens and fucking backyards, past their washing lines, just to get into this place. Like, it is unbelievable. There's no surrounding of on the ground. Like, it's just house, ground entrance, house.
So are we saying we're on board Luton Town? I know they're promoted, and we will young and run through the promoted teams. But for me, Luton Town's going to be my team for second team for next year. I can't wait to see people going to Kenilworth Road, JB, and we talk about this in 3 months' time, the away end.
Right.
I can't wait. I can't wait. The scenes, especially their first win. That'll be awesome.
I don't know, man. I reckon I'm going to get relegated straight away.
Who's going to play there? Fair income. It's like playing at Knapsack. Let's quickly touch on relegation. It's not easy. We have said it's the £100 million game between Luton and Coventry, but it's also on the other end. It's a £100 million loss. I guess you can state for the teams relegated, and Southampton, Leeds, and Leicester.
It's
Leicester only winning the Premier League sort of 5 years ago, and then now being relegated. For me, it's a tough ask to get re-promoted in 12 months.
No, it won't happen, mate. I think Leicester are going to go down, and they'll stay down for a while now. It's pretty sad, like you said. You know, they only just come up recently, and you know they did that awesome. I think it was 14 and 15 or whatever it was when they won it in their first year being promoted, and they went through all the pain of losing, you know, their owner in that, you know, that terrible accident, and then to start diminishing and be relegated this season. It's a sad story, but that's unfortunately the fate of the Premier League and how important it is.
But I also think that's the reason that football is realistically the world game. You're into it, and the season, although it was over for the title, it still wasn't. No. That was down to the last game.
Yeah, the last
for a relegation battle.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, out of control. The last week of those games was all dependent on other results, and you know, I saw footage over the weekend, not even just in the Premier League and in the Bundesliga, where you know, Bayern Munich had finished their game, and all the players were on their phones, just seeing the Dortmund result and to find that they drew, and it's just it's yes.
But it's also Scott and JB for you as well that probably doesn't understand it properly. It's also around the top 7. Like Villa have qualified for Europe, the Europa Conference, when you know Tottenham haven't. So Tottenham and Chelsea both haven't qualified for Europe this year, and we've got Villa and Brighton that have qualified for Europe in the Europa Conference League and Europa League, and then Newcastle qualifying for the Champions League for the first time in 20 years. There's a big shift around that. You know, it's not all Saudi money. I guess look, Newcastle, Saudi, like it's all oil money, but Villa and Brighton, you can play football and still get to where you can get to.
Yeah, massive for. Aston Villa's, they've always been in and around that sort of, table, but Brighton playing Europa is massive. That's massive.
Yeah,
for them.
massive.
Absolutely massive.
Now, before we touch on the A-League, Ange does it again, Scott. I know we've touched on it a good 6 weeks ago that he did win the league again, right?
Yep.
It's a massive thing for an Australian manager. I don't think we talk about it enough. I think we talk about it as in the fact that, okay, it's Celtic. It's only Celtic and Rangers. It is what it is. He was gone there as a nobody, and he's turned the. I'll ask you, as a massive Celtic fan and family in Scotland, he's turned the club around. Yeah,
massively. He's got that whole club and the fans humming and absolutely
as one.
Yeah, absolutely loving it, man.
And before you continue, and I know you want to back him up, so I'll let you continue, but we will post some footage around how Glasgow was up and about. We will put some footage up on social media around how Glasgow was up and about for the last game. But yeah, continue, mate.
Yeah. Look, the city turned green for him. He's brought in some good players, and he's just everyone's playing for him, which says enough. And I'm pretty sure he's going for the treble this weekend.
Yeah, they got the final on this weekend as well, the cup final.
Yeah.
Now, JB, to put it in perspective, it's and as well, it's a massive achievement for an Australian coach. But he's now being spoken about in every big job that comes up, whether it's Premier League, whether it's where it is. He's now one of the first 3 names mentioned. He was mentioned for Chelsea. He's now being mentioned for Tottenham.
Yeah.
So,
and deservedly slow. So, to be honest, he doesn't get. I can understand and appreciate what he's done, but it doesn't really get enough pumping up down here, because of the league that it is. He'll get more pumping, obviously receiving a job in a Premier League versus changing the club around like he has in that league,
Yeah.
It's all relevant in the media's eyes, apparently, but yeah, he deserves whatever he wants, He should be.
He will end up in the Premier League. He will.
He will, but for me, and for what it matters, my opinion doesn't matter. And I could be totally wrong. I don't think he takes the Tottenham job. I think he waits for a decent job. I'm going to paint a picture for you. He's been in the City Group before, right? This is painting you a picture. He's been in the City Group. He's been in the City Group system. How long's Pep got left? I'm just going to throw that out as a sport from the bleachers. How long's Pep got left?
Not long.
I don't think he's got too much left in him, mate. He's too up and about. He goes and coaches Barca again, or he goes and coaches an international team for me.
Yeah.
And I think the cushy job for Ange is not cushy, to put his stamp on it, is Man City for me. I'm happy to have the argument there around that.
I don't think they would go to Ange. That's massive.
Is that normal to get rid of a coach after winning the league? Or?
Oh, look, Pep's done it for
Pep
years.
won't leave. For me, Pep's got an out. Pep's got an out at any point, right? If he gets an international job, he goes. If he gets the chance to coach international, I'm just floating it out there, right? And we're in the media now, because this podcast is every media outlet throws out rumours. I'm just saying he's been in the City Group before. They know how he coaches. They can trust what he's doing. He now has the trust of a whole country, a whole city of Glasgow on his back, how he's transformed it. He's done it in Japan. I'm just throwing it out there. He's been in the group.
Yeah.
They obviously want to promote from within, I feel, at times as well. So,
yeah, you're right.
Let's relive this. Let's relive this when this podcast's still going in 3 years' time and Ange's the coach of Man City.
Righto.
Now, boys, we've got JB's joke of the week. We've got Youngen's young gun. I wanted to be involved too, and I'm running with weekly Heto's hero.
Right.
And this week it's not just an individual, which I'm happy to throw individuals up, but this week I'm running with the Central Coast Mariners. and we have spoken about this on the podcast before. None of you did know, but the A-League Grand Final is this weekend.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And I'm running with Heto's hero as, I guess, Nick Montgomery and the club itself. It's been on its knees. It's the least funded club in the league. It's battling. It's got the youngest kids playing. It's fought. It's punched above its weight, right? And for me, deserves all the plaudits they can get around the ownership and how it's changed hands and what it's doing for the community up there. Probably only know about it if you are on the Central Coast because we don't know about anywhere else. But they're playing in a grand final. They've made the Asian Champions League for next year. So for me, Heto's hero this week is Central Coast Mariners, and good luck to them this week against the City Group, the oil barons, the oil money of Melbourne City. JB, you should know about this, mate. Melbourne City, they're a massive club in Victoria, but they are playing this week in Sydney. Won the minor premiership, don't even get their grand final in their home state. So,
Well,
we can do a whole podcast on that, and I'm not ready to go through that yet.
Where's the game at? And when is it on?
your Paris Stadium, isn't it?
CommBank on Saturday night.
CommBank, yeah.
Far out.
Get around it.
That's going to go viral. Heto's heroes, jump on board. Tag every Central Coast Mariner fan you can. Watch me go viral, you twats.
Yeah.
Now, continuing the mock. He's been talking about himself and referring to himself as the mock. I think he's been introducing his customers as the mock, introducing himself. I just had a full-on tongue twister there, but you mock the Celtics big time.
Yeah.
The Celtics actually drew out your mock to 7 games and then mocked it.
Oh, mate, I couldn't. So I couldn't believe it. So at the start,
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this explanation. Go. Can you run us through?
Yeah, look, at the start of the series,
there we go.
Right, there was obviously when there was still 4 left. It's down to 2 now. They were paying Miami were paying $15, and the rest were like, I don't know, $2-3.
Yeah.
And I said, look, that's fair. Now they were the 8th seed in the East, and I couldn't see him getting it done. But they won the first 3 games, and it's like, well, it's unlosable from here. And then Boston crept it back, and I thought, fine, come on, I need you Boston to win just so I can get this mock off me back. And they almost did. I tell you what, game 6, I don't know if you do one of the best finishes to a game I've ever seen.
Yeah. 3 seconds left, wasn't it? Or 0.3 of a second at one point.
Yeah, it was 3 seconds left, and Marcus Smart from the Celtics put up a 3, and then White from the Celtics come in and then tipped it back in the win. Sent them to game 7 now. The unlosable game 7 at Boston. So it's 3-3. And I thought the narrative, surely they'll win. Like, no team's ever won, come back from 3-0 down.
This story's so good, Youngen.
And then they go to Miami.
So good.
And then Miami try to get to Boston, and Miami dust them 103-84. Pull their pants down.
Yeah.
See you later. Celtics, goodbye. Fucking hell. But so we're down to the finals now, right? Now, the current odds. So they're now the Miami going to play the Denver Nuggets in the finals. Denver Nuggets.
Don't tip anyone. I've got on my run sheet, you've got a tip here. I'm nearly asking you not to tip.
Denver Nuggets are paying $1.24. They're now first in the West, right? And then Miami at $4.10. Now I think that's right. Miami.
Fuck off, man. Fuck off.
And I'm going to go with the Nuggets. Nuggets to win in 6. So Miami will win a couple, but Nuggets will win in 6.
So everyone out there, get on board Miami with as much as you can get on.
They can't do it. They can't. They can't get through the Nuggets.
Please gamble responsibly, but we know the mock's form. He is a dead set. He's mocking. He's dead set mocking.
Oh, you wouldn't read about it anyway.
All right, now we will have the review show, coming up on Thursday. But we've done Youngen's Young Gun and Heto's Hero, our 2 segments. But back to the man himself, the viral person in JB. JB's Joke of the Week. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. We're back again this week. All right, so obviously, again, brought to you by Whittlesea Mowing. Any garden care, lawn care needs in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, they'll help you out. All right, so a man had a girlfriend named Wendy. He decided to get a tattoo of her name on his penis. When erect, it read Wendy. When flaccid, all you saw was a W and a Y. Out for dinner one day, he excused himself to the bathroom. He went to the urinal. Next to him was a big Jamaican man. The man took a gander at the Jamaican man's member and realised that it too had a W and a Y tatted on it. He looked at him and said, "So your girlfriend's name's Wendy as well?" The Jamaican man replied, "Nah, man. It says, 'Welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day.'"
He's done it again. He's done it again. He's got the mock off his back. He hasn't. He has. One thing the mock hasn't done. He hasn't missed on the joke.
Yeah.
He's back for the joke. So well done, JB.
That was gold.
Thanks, mate.
It was one of your best, mate. Well done.
Well done.
No, very good.
Boys, that'll do us. We'll be back together in a few days, 48 hours, and we'll review the Origin night.
Yeah, we'll just be
Origin night. But please like and subscribe. Follow us on all socials. We are now on TikTok. So no, we're not dancing. No, we're not doing any of that. We are dead set going viral with how funny JB's joke is. That's what's taking us. He's putting us on his back and getting us up there. But yeah, please like and subscribe, YouTube, or your listening platforms. So boys, we're done again.
Yeah, up the Blues, fuck
Go
Queensland.
Blues.
Up the Blues. Blues 13 plus. We will see you Thursday. Thanks, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate.